Chair, at this time, the Commonwealth calls Deputy Brian Smith.
Deputy Smith. You swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
You see the chair, Deputy Watch, Deputy stand around, and as you testify, Deputy Smith, you testify under oath. Speak to the chair, speak directly to the black microphone. You may examine the witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. Can you state your name for the record, please?
Brian Smith,
And where are you currently employed?
with the LaRue County Sheriff's Office,
And how long have you been employed there?
since about 2010.
Were you in law enforcement before that as well?
I started in 2006.
You started in 2006. And you rejoined the LaRue County Sheriff's Department in 2010?
Yes.
Okay.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
What are your assigned duties in your employment?
The duties include several different things. Patrol, paper service, answering calls, serving warrants, working the court system. It's a bunch of different things.
Okay. And what training did you receive before you became a deputy sheriff?
In 2006, I received 18 weeks of basic training at DOCJT in Richmond. And then each year afterwards, we have to maintain our police certification basically by going an additional 40 hours every year.
So essentially, you got your initial, I guess, it's not really a degree, it's a certification, right?
Yes.
From DOCJT, and then you do 40 hours a year in continuing education?
Yes.
Okay. So, were you on duty in LaRue County on the evening of May 12th, 2018?
I was.
And while on duty that evening, did you encounter the defendant, Miss Amber Howard?
I did.
And can you identify Miss Howard for the jury?
She's sitting at the defense table.
Okay. Can you tell the jury how you came into contact with Miss Howard that day?
I just made a patrol down ዄOՒԻՆန့ Road, which a lot of people call River Road. So I come out to the intersection of 210. I turn left to head towards Ball Holler area, they call it. And as I start down the hill, I start to notice there is a vehicle that's parked on the side of the road with no lights on. As I get closer, it turns out to be a black SUV. The vehicle is the driver's side tires is barely off the white line. As I'm pulling up, I could see to the left of the vehicle there was some type of substance on the ground, and there was two occupants in the vehicle, a female who was behind the driver's seat and a passenger.
Okay. So that's a whole lot, so I'm going to unpack some of that. So you were on patrol on ŁOՒԻՆՆ Road, commonly known as what?
River Road, yes, sir.
Did you come up, I guess, the hill?
I come up the hill, yes.
Okay. You're on the Dangerfield and you come to the intersection. Is that 470 and 210?
No, it would be Dangerfield and 210.
I'm sorry. Okay, Dangerfield and 210. So you take a left onto 210 like going towards Countsville, is
yes.
that right? Okay. Still in LaRue County,
yes.
Right? So you're coming down the hill after making that turn. You see, what kind of car was it again?
It was a black SUV.
Okay. And it is you said right over the fog line, right-hand side of the road?
Yes.
Okay. So you're coming up on it, you see a black SUV right over the fog line.
Objection asked and answered.
Okay, sorry about that. So go on from there. What did you do from there?
I initiated my blue lights, and I have a spotlight on the vehicle I was driving at the time. I had a spotlight. I turned it on, and I could see the two occupants appear to be passed out. I actually had another deputy with me that night, and he was kind of in training. So we get out of the vehicle. He goes to the passenger side. I initially go to the passenger side myself to see what's going on. After we interact with the passenger, I go around and get the driver out. As she exits the vehicle, I could smell alcoholic on her about her persons.
Your Honor,
and
may we approach you?
If I'm not mistaken, it appears to me that the deputy may be reading something. Does he have a copy of the citation in front of him?
Yes, he does.
I would request that the citation be removed from him and he would use it in order to refresh his recollection, but he cannot be reading the citation at the end of the day. He must testify from his memory. If he doesn't remember something, he can refresh his memory with the citation, but
I understand
you
that.
can't just sit there and read from it.
I don't intend to introduce the citation into evidence. It's been common practice that they're allowed to use their citations. This is a 2-year-old DUI.
I'm going to sustain the objection.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Your citation.
I'm good.
I'm sorry, I lost track of where we were. When you, so, blue lights, 2 people in the car, who was in the driver's seat?
Miss Howard.
Okay, and there was another occupant of the vehicle as well?
There was a male subject
Where was he at?
in the front passenger seat.
Okay, so he's in front passenger seat, she's in the driver's seat. You go around and make contact with Miss Howard, is
Yes.
that right? What happened from there?
Like I said before, I noticed there was puke on the ground. After I tried to get her to wake up, she finally comes to. Ask her what she's doing. She said she had pulled over. I said, "Where have you been?" She stated she had been in the bars drinking, and she felt a buzz coming on, so she pulled over. I said, "Well, will you exit the vehicle for me?" And then when she did, she actually stumbles all the way over to almost the center line of 210. I go over there and escort her back to where we're going to perform the field sobriety test.
Okay. And you didn't actually perform the field sobriety?
I did not. We had a deputy in training, and I was kind of observing him do the field sobriety test.
Okay. Now, what time of day or night was this?
I believe it was between 11:30 and midnight. It was towards the end of the shift.
And you said 210, right?
210 Camels Road, yes.
Okay. So when you got to Miss Howard, you had the conversation with her. You already said she was behind the wheel. Were the keys in the ignition?
The keys were ignition. The vehicle was running. So yes.
Okay. But you said the lights were off. Is that right?
Yeah, for some reason the lights had been turned off. I'm not sure why.
Okay. You already said when you made contact with her, she was not conscious. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. When you said you got to the car and there appeared to be vomit, where was that at?
It was right beside the driver's door. It extended out towards the center line. Had little red chunks in it.
Okay. It appeared to have come from the car?
They come from the car, yes.
Okay. So she comes to, Miss Howard comes to and then exits the vehicle for you, is that right?
Correct.
Okay. What all did you notice about her when she got out of the car?
Like I said, I noticed I could smell alcohol beverage on her about her persons. Her speech was a little slurred. She stumbled. And then I had to escort her back up to the where we was going to do the field sobriety on the roadway.
Okay. So, during the course of this investigation on the side of the road, did Miss Howard admit to you that she had been drinking?
She did say she had been drinking, yes.
Do you know how many times she admitted to drinking?
I'm not sure how many exact times, but it was more than once.
Okay. And did she also admit how she got to that spot?
She stated she drove there.
Okay. Did she say where she was going to?
I think she asked the male friend, and he said to Campbellsville.
And did she give any idea where she had come from?
She had stated a bar in E-Town, I believe.
Okay. Now, as part of your employment with the Brevard County Sheriff's Office, do you wear a body camera?
I do not.
Okay. Does the Brevard County Sheriff's Department have body cameras?
We do not, sir.
Okay. Do you have any other sort of camera in your cruiser or otherwise?
My truck at the time is equipped with a Garmin video camera.
Okay. And this is what you call a dash cam?
Dash cam, essentially, yes.
Okay, so it's inside your truck, not outside, right?
It is inside, yes.
Doesn't travel on your body?
No, sir.
Okay. Was it running on the night that you encountered Miss Howard?
It was.
Okay. And did it capture the interactions between you and Miss Howard on the side of the road?
Yes, sir, it did.
Okay. Judge, may we approach?
You may.
I'll make this quick because I know that was a long video. At the very end of the video, you were pulled over for someone to vomit. Is that right?
That's correct.
Was that Miss Howard?
No.
Who? That was the other guy?
That was the other guy.
Okay.
She had done vomited right before.
Miss Howard vomited before?
Yes.
Okay.
When I went up to the record driver Nathan gets out and she vomits.
Gotcha. You hear the door slam, I
Yes.
guess? Okay. So she had actually vomited in the back of your cruiser?
Yes.
Okay. Based on this roadside interaction, what you observed as far as what you've already testified to, the keys in ignition, car running, and the totality of the circumstances the jury has seen there, did you charge Ms. Howard with DUI?
I did.
Did all this happen right here in LaRue County?
Yes, sir.
That's all I have at this point.
Or the other witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'm going to stand if you don't mind, Judge. No problem. So, Deputy Smith, good afternoon.
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
Pretty good.
Good?
Other than the cough.
Other than, you got a cold?
Yes.
I saw the halls. I was wondering
Yes.
about that.
Yes.
Sorry.
It's okay.
We gotta do this. Life doesn't stop for us, does it?
No, sir.
You are a sheriff's deputy, right?
Correct.
And you already testified, I believe, that you went through the requisite training and all that good stuff, right?
Yes, sir.
You went through the academy back a few years back, right?
2006.
2006, 2007.
Yes, sir.
And let's go into May 12th, 2018. So this is almost 2 years ago now,
Yes, sir.
right? We saw your cruiser. You're the driver of the cruiser, correct?
Correct.
And you got Deputy Hall as the passenger.
Correct.
As you arrive, and you already testified to this, Ms. Howard's SUV was parked by the guardrail, correct?
Correct.
The lights were off,
Correct.
and you immediately noticed, without even getting out of the cruiser, in your short conversation with Deputy Hall, there are two individuals who are asleep in the SUV, correct?
Correct.
You both get out of the cruiser and you approach the SUV, right?
Yes.
And we see for a good, I don't know, it almost felt like to me, almost 3-4 minutes, you got your flashlights and you're kind of peering in, trying to assess the situation, right? You're trying to figure out what are we dealing with here, right?
Yes.
Which is pursuant to your training.
Correct.
You assess the situation so that you can act in accordance with whatever training you have, right?
Yes.
Maybe an individual could be dying in there, having a heart attack, right?
Yes.
So you got to follow protocol. Do we call EMS? Do we call an ambulance? Do we call a fire truck? You know, all that good stuff.
If it dictates it, yes.
Right. But in this case, you saw both Ms. Howard and the other individual by the name of Adam, who was the passenger in her vehicle, both asleep in their seats in the SUV, correct?
Correct.
Ms. Howard's seat was reclined. Do you remember that?
I do not.
You do not remember her seat being in the reclined position with her laying back away from the driver's wheel?
I don't remember that, sir.
You don't remember that?
No, sir.
Do you remember her seat being pushed further back so she could stretch her legs when she was laying down? Do you remember that?
No, I don't remember that either.
Okay. You never saw Ms. Howard drive.
Correct.
You never saw how she drove, obviously, since you didn't see her drive, right?
That is correct.
You never saw when she stopped, right?
No, sir.
You have no idea when that happened.
No.
And how long ago it happened.
No.
After you got Ms. Howard out of the vehicle, at some point, and you testified to this, and I believe it was in your citation, or there's another place where this was written, she felt a buzz coming on, so she pulled over. Those were your exact words, correct?
That was her exact words.
To you?
Yes.
And those were your exact words that you're repeating today in the courtroom?
Yes.
Okay. You determined after Ms. Howard had exited the vehicle, Deputy Hall performed field sobriety tests on her, correct?
That's correct.
And in accordance with your training and the field sobriety test and the smell of alcohol, you determined that Ms. Howard was under the influence,
Correct.
right? And that is your opinion, correct? Your professional opinion?
That's what the facts were.
I'm asking you, is this your opinion?
Sure.
You also told her, I believe it was you, that she should have stayed where she was at in Elizabethtown.
Correct.
That is also your opinion.
That's what I told her.
Right. Is that, or is it not your opinion?
Sure.
Okay. You also told her that she had no right to drive from Elizabethtown. Do you remember that?
I do.
That is also your opinion.
Sure.
So yes or no question.
Yeah.
If I may have one moment, Your Honor.
I provide you the witness file. Any objection, Mr. Foreman?
Objection, Your Honor. I don't believe the witness.
Overruled.
Thank you.
Just one final question. Do you remember testifying at a hearing on August the 1st of 2019 in relation to this case?
Yes, sir.
Do you remember one of the questions posed to you was, why Ms. Howard stopped, but she pulled over to sleep it off, she said. Do you remember that?
Let's sleep off the buzz, yes.
To sleep off the bus, yes. And that she was going to Campbellsville.
That's what her passenger stated, yes.
Now, I'm not sure how our jurors are familiar geographically because I had to Google this myself, but it is my understanding that the location where she was stopped is approximately the midway point between Elizabethtown and Campbellsburg. Would that be a fair statement?
Campbellsville.
Did I say Berg? I'm sorry.
Yes.
Campbellsville.
Pretty close, yes.
And that's about a 50-minute drive from Elizabethtown to Campbellsville itself, approximately, would you say?
Approximately, yes.
And she was somewhere in the midway point, so she was 25 minutes into her trip to her destination, according to what she told you, if those are the facts.
Sure.
Enough of the question, Your Honor.
Read the record.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
You may step down also.
Judge.
She take your phone call. You may call your next witness.
Judge, that's the case for comment.
Mr. Foreman, come with the rest of this case.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, may we approach?
You may.
There's comments.
You want to see badass, motherfucker? I'll show you badass!